Hi everyone, it's Kristen. So, I got this yesterday, and guess what came today? Yeah. So, and I know 18 comes out literally this Wednesday. So, I'm almost like 2 months behind, really. I mean, granted, honestly, I thought about not even doing this one because, like I said, I'm almost like 2 months behind. Why bother? That sort of thing. But at the same time, it would be weird doing 1 to 15, skipping 16, and then doing 17 and on. So, I'm just a little bit frustrated, I guess. Like I said, I there have been a couple times where I actually like one time I actually got it early, like 2 days early, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Another couple times where I got it kind of on time, at least before that Monday, the next Monday. And other than that, though, it's mostly like 3 weeks late, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's funny because, it comes in this mailer, and this is what it, comes with is, never miss an issue because I subscribe directly through Marvel, which is true. I don't ever miss an issue, but for it to be like almost, you know, 2 months late, that's pretty sad. And I've talked to them before, and they're like, oh, well, that's nothing to do with us. It's the post office. And of course, I've talked to the post office, and they're like, basically, they kind of don't care. They're not too worried about it. It's just a comic. So yeah, they're not worried about it. So it is what it is. I am gonna have to hopefully find a new source. I mean, obviously it's gonna cost me more because with Marvel, when you subscribe, you get 40% off, which is a great deal. But I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to get my comics in a timely fashion because this just, yeah, isn't working very well, especially for doing these videos because pretty much everyone's read this by now, which is fine. It's more me doing those videos so I can share my opinions and kind of talk to you guys about them and, see what you think. For example, this issue left me with more questions than answers, to be honest. And I'm hoping you guys, like some of you can fill in the blanks for me because, like I said, yeah, I'm like, wait, I don't understand. So, anyway, like I said, just a little bit frustrating. So here we go. And we open with Mackenzie Denier talking about how Nightcrawler saved her daughter's life when the van was out of control and almost hit her. And she's like, there have been 36 such instances in the past month where mutants have, used their powers selflessly to, for the benefit of others. So she went to the mayor. What the mayor decided is they're going to declare New Orleans a mutant, you know, like mutants are welcome there. Like it's a safe place for them. And they're also doing a friendship festival like at the end of the month, which sounds fun. Like I bet there'll be rides and games and food. I mean, okay, yes, I live in Texas, but honestly, I've never been to the state fair here. I know, shocker. And it's kind of sad, but it's, I don't know. I'm the type of person that I don't like doing things by myself, and I could never find anyone to go with me. So I kind of was like, well, oh well, just, one of those things. I mean, I'll do stuff by myself because, of course, I can't like always have someone doing stuff with me. I'll out to eat, movies, whatever, but for things like that, you want someone to go with you. You want to share the experience. And that's how I feel about it anyway. So we are back to here, the dark artery and penumbra below the gravesite. And Lady Henrietta is just recapping, what has transpired in the last couple issues. And so they're down there because the keeper, the guardian of that place, whose name I can't pronounce, she kind of created this place with her curse because her husband, was kind of afraid of her and her powers. but he couldn't do anything about it because he was afraid of her and her powers. So what he did is tortured their daughter like mercilessly, and the daughter couldn't take it anymore and committed suicide. And so the person whose name I can't pronounce created this place for people who specifically family members who specifically turn against their own family because they're mutants. So here they are. She's trying to take one of the outliers to replace her because she's tired. She doesn't want to do this anymore. Um, and they're fighting off hordes of these trapped souls, which, they're souls, so they can't really die. And so it's kind of a losing battle because they're living and they're fighting, spirits. So the person whose name I can't pronounce takes over a death dream, and well, you can see what she says through him. She's and basically reminds she says through death dream, you tormented, you dare molest the successor to whatever her name is, herself, the mutant from between the stars, the very voice of darkness. So, basically he goes through the whole, you guys are here for a reason. Obviously you have forgotten that you're here for a reason. And he kind of goes through and asks some different people, why are they here? What did they do? And, you know, Calico's scared. She's like, what is happening? Jubilee, what's happening? And Jubilee's like, I think he's trying to save us by, being taken over by this entity. He's trying to save them by reminding the people there, like basically shaming them and into remembering why they're there. Like this one guy, his sister's children were special. They could read his thoughts. And apparently he did not think very good thoughts, but he was scared that they would let everyone else know. See, he spoiled them so that they would keep quiet. And someone else said, my husband can fly. I was jealous, and sent him to prison. And another one was like, my mother grew flowers from nothing. I knotted her noose. So pretty much death dreams, like each and every one of you betrayed your own family, and that's why you're here for, suffering, eternal suffering. And then we have her taking over Ransom, and they're like, Ransom, what are you doing? Are you in there? And basically, spirits like, don't interfere. And Wolverine is like, and everyone else is like, you can't have them. You can't have any of them. Um, and apparently, Lady Henrietta and Wolverine know each other. And Lady Henrietta is like, I always kind of had a crush on you. And he's like, oh, my loss then, missed opportunity. And of course, they never explain how they actually know each other. They're just drop that little bombshell on us, but don't explain. Just leave us like just hanging. And Becca just kind of freaks out all of a sudden. She's like, "You lied to me. My mother said that we were, the mutants were goblins." Um, and that I mean, she just feels that way in this instance because I mean, look around her. Look where she is. She's scared. She's freaked out. And basically Rogue tries to get Gambit to use the eye to get them out of there. Especially Becca because she's freaking out. And he's like, I tried, I can't. And they're like, what do you want with these kids? Like, why would you take these kids? And Deathstream, well, he's obvious. And then Becca, she brought a dead animal back to life. So that kind of answers my question, I guess, if Calico is, I mean, Ember, if Ember is actually a real horse, she basically is. She's just been brought back to life, like she died and then brought back to life. And then for Jitter. she says that she borrows the talents of those, that have been long dead. And, and then, of course, Ransom, Rogue's like, well, what about Ransom? That doesn't make any sense. And then she's like, he has the mark. He bears the mark. I'm like, what? That seems random that they're like, oh, well, he has the mark of the ransoming moon, the dark light of Preumbra. So she's like, any of the four will do. I mean, it just, okay, like, it doesn't, I mean, for him to bear actually the mark of Preumbra, I feel like him, okay, only because he has that mark. Otherwise, it would make no sense. And Jitter stealing the talents of those long departed, I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, I get what they're saying, but that's a stretch. And Calico bringing back Ember from the dead, well, yeah, I get that. But yeah, like I said, um, if Ransom didn't have this, bearing the mark of Penumbra, I'd be like, yeah. So anyway, she's like, choose one of them. Doesn't matter which one, just choose one. And Rogue's like, you're not getting any of them. We're all leaving here. And so Rogue, goes after her and is totally rebuffed. Like, no, there's, nope. Didn't work. And Lady Henrietta recounts what happened, once she let Mr. Miller go. She's trying to protect the children, and she's like, get behind me. And when she let Mr. Miller go, and they're like, don't tell anyone about this place, and he's like, I swear I won't, but you know where this is going. Oh, goodness. And then basically they're talking about how this being has this goddess, I guess, has no weaknesses. And Jitter's like, yeah, like a dragon. And so Calico's like a dragon, and she's like, Ember, I need you, please come. And then she says, Saint George of, oh, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's he's a martyr that refused to make sacrifices to gods. So yeah, he was known as a martyr. Um, so, and I didn't get this part. So the goddess person whose name I can't pronounce is afraid of Ember, which I don't understand why she's afraid of Ember. Like, why? Can someone explain that to me? Is it because she was brought back to life and that being that the living are not allowed there? Is that why she's kind of like scared of her? Anyway, so Jubilee points out that she's afraid. She's afraid of the horse, you know, Ember. And Rogue's like, oh, that's my cue. So she picks up Man Thing because, whosoever knows fear burns at the touch of Man Thing. So there you go. That's an awesome page. I mean, it is. It's like a really cool action page. And so Jubilee goes up to her and she's like, I know you're hurting. I know you're upset, but you know, about your daughter. But I too have a child I'm missing. Her dragon baby that went off and left her because it turned into a dragon. Oh, like I can't make this stuff up. That's what she's talking about. Oh goodness. Anyway, I've said pretty much in almost every single comic book video I've done, the comic books are like soap operas. They have these crazy off the wall plots a whole lot of times. And that's just the way they are, like soap operas. I used to watch them with my sister. uh, she was older than me, and I was still kind of little. I didn't know what we were watching, but she was watching them, so of course I wanted to watch with her. And I had no idea what was going on, but people coming back from the dead, having long lost twins, this wooden puppet boy that's actually like a boy, but the the woman like who's his mom sees him like as a real boy. What I don't know. It's all It's all kinds of crazy stuff. This anyway, so soap operas. So, and Jubilee's like, I too have a child I missed, and the lady's like, the goddess lady is like, well, he misses you too. You should go to him. And well, Jubilee also says, would you take these children from us because like we're their guardians, as your daughter was taken from you? And you know, basically she says go and never come back. So basically, like I said, Mr. Miller came back, even though Lady Henrietta was nice enough to let him live. He came back with all the other agents and was like, look, look, look. And there was nothing there. Like everything was gone. So, and they're kind of like, are you coming, Lady Henrietta? And she's like, no, everyone I love is here. So you can see she married George, had a baby, and there's her mom, which okay, I guess, I thought only mutants were buried there. So, and I thought George wasn't a mutant because in, um, I think 13, when she was first introduced, she's like, oh, he was just trying to protect me. And then they had a daughter, and so I guess she's mutant. I don't know. I don't understand. That's one of the parts that I don't quite get. But I guess this is where, if they're not buried there, this is where her family is. Her mom for sure is buried there because that's the whole reason she traveled to New Orleans in the first place, or to find a Haven House in the first place. So I'm assuming they're all buried there or near there. And that's why she doesn't want to leave. So, and then in the last issue, we saw one of the robot sentinel dogs, targeting Haven House. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really bad. And what happened is the dog's, look, it says good boy mode. So Chelsea's like, look, he's a good boy. He loves us. He's happy. So I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And so the whole time they've been talking about the secret code that they had, and X in their code means safe. And Death Dream's like, I finally get what X means. It means, this place, this this house, this food, this people, these people, the people here. That's X. So I thought that was really sweet. And I'm so happy that, you know, the dog wasn't going to do anything to everybody. I was scared about that, especially when you saw the kitties. I thought, yeah, I would not have been happy. I mean, yeah, I would not have been happy. So of course this is the next one, which we already know because this one's been out for like almost 2 months now. And like I said, this one I just got today. So this is what we're going to be talking about next. So I hope you will join me for that video and for future videos. And until next time, bye.